Hey everybody, how are you? This is Jason Druss, Principal Product Marketing Manager on the Adobe Premiere team. And today we are going to be talking about matching clips in the all-new color mode in Adobe Premiere Beta. Now, matching clips is one of the hardest parts of color grading. It's not just about adding a look, it's about making sure that as an audience watches your project from start to finish, you are not that they are not jarred by mismatching black levels, mismatching white levels. You want everything to flow. Even if you have the most expensive production in the world, you are always fighting the sun shifting throughout time of day and a number of variables and factors that are most of the time way out of your control. This is a core part of the color grading and color correction experience, making sure things match. Let's get to it. The first thing I'm going to do is we're going to go to our sequence style, and I'm going to go ahead and add a style. But instead of adding a style, let's go to a sample clip. Let's click this bedroom clip right here. Let's go ahead and do a style module on the whole sequence. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to apply film color, right? Because I'm just thinking right now, okay, the concept here is that this project was shot with a film stock. I want to select the film stock and do the film color module. And then I'm going to whittle my way down as I go between sequence and then groups and then clips, which is a really fantastic order of operations when working in color mode. So I'm going to click Done. We have this film stock right here. I'm going to pick Fuji F125, which I believe should give me some nice magenta skin tones and highlights. And we'll go with this. Yeah, stick with 3510 for the print stock. Great. So let me just click through. Looks decent, looks decent, looks decent. Not bad. Okay, cool. What I'm going to do next, let's go to our sample shot again right here. Let's go to a fluffier one right here. Let's scrub to the end of the clip where we see her face. Great. Now let's just dial in the strength of this module real quick. Let's have it more processed towards film color over film contrast. A little bit of mid-tone protection there. Just zhuzh up the contrast in the midtones a little bit. And let's go ahead and... No, that's fine for now. I'm going to add one more thing. I'm going to add color and contrast right here, because one thing this film stock does is it sends the blues, like really teal. And, that's fine. Actually, pardon me. What I wanted to actually add was color shift. There we go. That's fine. Let's go ahead and isolate all the blues here. And let's do hue shift. Let's slide to the right to expand the amount of blue we're about to edit real quick. And let's go ahead and just make that a little bit more blue, I think. And then I'll do the same thing over here. I'll click this slightly different shade of blue. And just move that to be little bit more blue, I think, right? Right? Okay, yeah. I mean, we love orange and teal, but enough is enough. I'm just kidding. I love orange and teal, but I've been leaning towards more realistic blues lately. Call me crazy. Anyway, okay, so that's the film stock. And as I can see right here, we're starting off at a pretty good place. But you see, this project was shot throughout various times of day and various conditions. If I look at this shot right here versus this shot right here, I'm seeing mismatching between this shot, between this close-up right here. I'm seeing a lot of mismatching. Even outside, if I look at this medium shot, this close-up, and this especially this ultra-wide shot, there's a lot of things that need to be matched and need to be zhuzhed a little bit so that we have a nice even flow throughout the project, right? Here's what we're going to do. This is where color mode starts getting really subjective. This is where we start breaking away from here's what's in color mode and here's when we start talking about what's the best way to use color mode. And again, this is where things get extremely subjective. What I'm going to do is walk you through my process and walk you through a really good order of operations that's going to walk you through some of the deeper capabilities of the system. So what we're going to do is go to the clip grid, right? Now the clip grid is really awesome. I can see metadata. I can turn metadata off. I can get in and out of grid view to see all kinds of different things. My favorite part of the clip grid is the ability to sort and filter your clips by a number of parameters. I can filter and see graded clips, ungraded clips, source clips. If a clip is used multiple times in the sequence, I can see all 3 instances where that source clip comes up. What I can also do is choose how to organize and not just filter, but sort my stuff. So right now we're seeing sequence timecode. This is the order that the clips appear in as we go throughout this entire sequence. If I want to, I can go ahead and I can rearrange the sort of the clips by clip timecode instead. And you know what that just did? That just showed me, okay, these clips were shot first, these clips were shot second, these clips were shot third, so on and so forth. You see where I'm getting at here? If color mode is a system where you can grade the whole sequence, custom groups, and individual clips at the same time, then what I can do is say, oh, this is a special shot right here. These clips right here, I can tell this is all the same group. So let me go ahead and highlight all of these clips, selection, add an adjustment, create a group. Let's call this custom group kitchen close-ups, right? Let's add these. We have this wide shot here. This is a static shot. This is a dolly shot. This is different. So let me take all of my static shots right here and let's just make a group right here. And let's call this one bedroom medium shots. Then I'm going to create this group right here and call this bedroom close-ups. Great. Let's just start with that, right? Because obviously everything I do here, we would just repeat over and over and over again until we get through the whole timeline. For the sake of time, I'm just going to stick with these 2 groups right here. I'm going to stick with, what do we have here? Nope, sorry, this clip. I'm just going to stick with bedroom medium shot and bedroom close-ups, and let's just go ahead and match those. So the first thing I'm going to do in this shot is I'm just going to do a general balance, like to my liking, to my eyes. Let's take exposure. Let's bring exposure down a little bit. Let's go in the shadows. Let's make a new shadow zone right here. Let's sample the shadows that we want right here. That's just about right there. Now let's go ahead and raise exposure of the shadows just a little bit like that. Great. Now let's go to the bedroom close-ups. Now I can see just going from here and going from here, we have a saturation mismatch. We got a little bit more green showing up in the hair, and we have some slightly darker shadows happening in the wider shot. So in the medium shot, what I'm going to do is off the get-go, let's go to the bedroom adjustment here. Let's go to the bedroom close-up adjust here at the group level. And let's go ahead and let's raise saturation a little bit. Not too much, just a skosh. And let's go ahead and go into the shadows. I want to go ahead and just isolate all of the hair. And let's go ahead and let's paint a little bit of that green out of the hair by isolating that shadows. The opposite of green is magenta. Therefore, I'm going to move this needle a little bit towards magenta there. And that's giving us a good cast in the hair. But what I really want to do is take my color shift controls. If that didn't work, this is all like try, fail, try, fail, try, fail until you try the thing that works. So let's go ahead and go to sat shift and let's increase that range a little bit. And let's bring down saturation. Let's go to hue shift a little bit. And that's looking a little bit better. Okay, so what I can do now is I can do 2 things. The first thing I'm always going to do, and this is just kind of like my personal habit, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be like, what isn't making sense? And I think I know what's not making sense. I can see that the blues are way more saturated here. The blues need to be resaturated right here. I can also see we have a little bit of skin tone disparity. I'm seeing that the skin's a little bit more pink and it's a little bit more orange in the close-up, a little bit wider, a little bit pinker in the wider shots. So here's what I can do. This is where we start using the comparison mode, the comparison view, if you will. What I can do is click on any one clip. I can click on comparison view. And I can swipe left and right and see the original shot, the original before and after. I can swap sides, go horizontal, vertical, whatever I want. Here's where comparison mode starts getting really, really cool. I can command click and I can compare the active shot against any other shot in the project. So what I'm going to do is get to a good spot right here. This is where the split works really well, because if I needed to see, like right now I'm not seeing any faces, now I'm seeing faces. So you see how malleable that is. I can even go into this clip right here, and if I want to, I can scrub and get the perfect frame of the shot that I want to compare against. I want to see eyes here. So let's go ahead and do that. And let's see if I have a shot. I'm not seeing her eyes right here. That's fine. The eyes are fine. So again, this is a really subtle, simple match that we're going to do right here, but it is off. So what I want to do, I definitely like the pinker skin tones of the wider shot better than the more orange skin tones in the medium shot, and I'm definitely noticing that the blues are just way more vibrant in the wider shot. They're not as vibrant in the close-up. So the first thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to do all this on the bedroom close-ups, because anything I do to this clip, I want it to affect the other 3 or 4 close-ups in my sequence. I am going to go into bedroom close-ups, and I am going to go to blue right here, and let's go ahead and go to saturation shift. Let's expand that radius a little bit by moving my finger to the right, and let's move that up until we get a good matchy blue. That's better. That's better. Now I can turn saturation shift on and off tool by tool right here, and I can see, you see that? Way better blue match right off the bat. There we go. So let's focus on skin now. There's a number of ways I can go about this. I could create an object mask around the skin. Sometimes I think, you know, the easiest ways are always best when it comes to color grading. So if you're able to, right? It's when you need to pull in the heavy machinery that you decide to, you know, go above and beyond and do some wacky weird stuff. I'm seeing this orange skin tone very, very well isolated right here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go to saturation. Let's make that a little bit larger just for safety. And unless we need to refine, let's move up and actually move down. I think I need to actually move down. That's a lot closer. Cool. Now what I'm going to do is go to hue shift. Same thing. Widen a little bit for safety because I can always bring it back in if I need to. Most annoying thing for me is like changing skin tones and things and then realizing I took too little or too much. That is a much better match. Much better match right there. You know, in fact, I'm going to go back to saturation and I'm going to eat my words a little bit and bring saturation back up here because, again, it is a close-up. If I want to work on the lips, I can work on the lips right there. And because it is a close-up, you know, there's matching, and then there's perceptual matching, right? So you're allowed to make some changes subjectively that don't necessarily match 100% if it serves the clip and it serves the story and it serves the flow, right? And there you have it. That's a pretty decent match. So after I do all of this work, creating groups, matching shots back and forth against groups, what I do is I get out of clip timecode. I go back to sequence timecode. Once I'm back to sequence timecode, I can play back the whole thing. And then at the individual clip level, I will decide if there's something that I want to change clip to clip based on how the story is progressing and the color is matching across the sequence. And then possibly I'll make more groups, possibly I'll make group adjustments, but essentially that's a really great, fantastic order of operations for advanced color grading work when you're working in color mode. As always, read the documentation. Every single button, every right clip, everything you could ever possibly want to know about color mode is very clearly listed and labeled in the documentation, so check that out. Happy editing, happy grading. Remember to have fun. That's the most important part. And we'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody. Bye.